Hello, my name is Direct and welcome to another video. Today we'll be talking about the new tier list, which will be put in place once the experimental patch of the 21st of January 2021 will come in effect in live servers. So we'll be going over the experimental patch quickly, as some of you might not know what the experimental patch contains. And then we will go over the last patch very quickly and its impacts, and then the new tier list. Starting, we have echo nerfs. So the developer's quote is always underneath what happened, and then we see the specifics of the nerf or buff. The developers say Echo's kit is designed around mobility and burst damage, but she was performing too well against high health targets such as tanks. This is very true. We saw Echo doing a lot of things against tanks, bursting them down super quickly, making Reinhardt and Winston quite unplayable in combination with, for example, the Zen Orb, which we are going to talk about later. Next, there's reducing the maximum firing duration of her primary weapon, and focusing beam will lower her sustained damage output without impacting her burst damage potential against squishier targets. What this means is they just want to lower the focusing beam to be better against tanks, or still be good against tanks, also squishier targets. But they want to shorten it so it doesn't really kill everything. This is what they're trying to do, at least, although I don't think they're doing a very good job of it. The specifics are tri-shot ammo reduced from 15 to 12, so primary fire goes down. And then we have focusing beam duration reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds. The tri-shot ammo reduction will make you have to reload more often. It will lower the amount of spam damage Echo can do before the fight starts, also lowering her shield break potential. And the focusing beam going down from 2.5 to 2 seconds does not do enough. I would have liked her to have more of a 1.5 seconds or even like only 1 second focusing beam, being a faster burst focusing beam, dealing maybe even more damage, but being focused towards actually killing or finishing off targets, making her more of a burst character, which Blizzard wanted to be. But well, she still bursts through a shield and then chips away at health. Or she chips away at health and then bursts you down with focusing beam. The nerf didn't really do much to her. We will talk about that later. Next, there's the Tracer, and I called it Revert nerf. So the developers say this new fall off range causes the damage to scale down faster when targets are outside of Tracer's optimal range or distance, making her less threatening at mid-range. What this means is basically the fall off damage is now increased when you are further away, making the effective range of Tracer a different one. So her pulse pistols and her min-max damage fall off of those pulse pistols have been rescaled to 12 to 20 meters from 13 to 23. This is getting us more towards the Tracer which we had before Goats, where her damage fall off min was 10 meters and her max was 18 meters, making it more so that we had a Tracer which had to play even closer than this. I think going the midway is fine for now, but we'll have to see how much this will affect Tracer in the long run. I think she's still going to be pretty strong because of her high mobility and her potential to one-shot clip targets. Next, there's the Zen Revert nerf, and she got even more nerfs. So, developers say Zenyatta has been a bit too effective at enabling team-wide damage output lately. So we've taken some power out of the Orb of Discord by reducing both its total damage amplification as well as the speed at which it can be applied over long distances. The new projectile speed now matches that of his primary fire Orb of Destruction. So his primary fire Orb of Destruction has the same speed now as his orbs. of Harmony and Discord. What this means is you cannot charge up your volley anymore, shoot the volley, and then throw a Discord Orb after, because the Discord Orb will arrive after the volley already hit. This means you have to Discord first and volley after, making Zenyatta weaker in the 1v1 scenario and on his own, which is bad for the character. Also, his Orb of Harmony speed being reduced makes him even worse at healing than he already is. So he's already bad at healing. We didn't pick Zenyatta for the healing in the first place, we picked him for the damage amplification, and the Harmony Orb was just a nice gimmick to have, being able to throw that on targets going behind walls, going on the flank, which we had all the time since we were in the ball echo tracer meta. So now the damage amplification reduced from 30 to 25 of his Discord Orb is basically putting him back to where he was before the GOATs, and I think they could have even put it down to 20. I would have liked to see Harmony Orb buffs instead of nerfs, and a Discord Orb reduction from 30 to 20, and the projectile speed staying the same. Now to the previous buffs and nerfs, we had Sigma. His reply time on barrier became 2.5 seconds, making it less fluid, like the gameplay overall. I would have instead liked to see nerfs to his Connect Grasp or his Rock Accretion, or maybe even his ultimate, his HP, his damage, anything. But his barrier, because it ruins the playstyle that Sigma was intended to have. Still, he's one of the strongest characters since he still does everything at quite a decent rate. Next up we have Ashe, which got a nerf, not being able to one-shot targets with damage boost anymore, doing 195 damage instead of 200 now, and also shooting a bit faster. Like the delay between each shot has been reduced. What this does is basically nothing. It's more of an Ashe buff actually, because usually the only thing that this nerfed is the Ashe being oppressive, getting you in spawn at full HP. But usually you're not at full HP, so the Ashe is still gonna one-shot you. This only applies to the kills where you would be at full HP as a squishy. This does not apply for you if you already got poked, chip damaged, or spammed once. You are still going to die one shot by Ashe, and she fires even faster now, which might even be counted as a buff in some scenarios, but they said it as a nerf, so I did too. Next, there's Ball. Nothing really changed much about Ball. Of course, they nerfed his adaptive shields, going down from 150 to 75, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. Like from 100 to 75 doesn't really do a whole lot, since Ball was like over sustainable. Now he's still super sustainable. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Ball is still going to be the strongest tank in the game, with the most mobility, the most peeling, the most CC, and highest damage output. Next up there would be Hanzo. So we have Hanzo getting a Stormer buff, which we didn't really need. We needed the other snipers or characters that could do his job to go down, not Hanzo to go up. Getting to the tier list. So we still have Ball as a must pick now. So Ball is now in the must pick instead of the meta, because he's the strongest tank. He has the most sustainability, the most damage, the most CC, the most peel, the most everything. Ball is just the best character in the game right now. Meta, still Sigma, because he's still good at everything. Still does everything quite well. He has a nice CC, a nice sustain and kinetic grasp in his shield, and one of the best support ults in the game being his ultimate, Kinetic Flux. Next up there's Hog. Hog moved up from strong to meta, I think, because Hog has the same capabilities of Ball, being able to self-sustain, do a lot of damage, have pick potential, and still being able to peel for your team. Then there's Tracer. Tracer still the best mobility in the game, still able to one-shot kill with one clip. Ashe not really being touched, one of the best mobilities in Coach Gun, one of the best zoning damage and Dynamite. And then we have Echo still being the tank burst that she is, just a bit tuned down. And there's Hanzo now up as well. Hanzo was already strong, but the Stormer buff might put him into the meta state. In strong picks, we have Orisa being another option for Sigma or Hog on some maps. But as well, if you didn't run a ball before and you were running a Sigma, you could also run a Orisa. So Orisa is still a really strong pick because of her abilities being strong and being able to combo with Hog and Sigma if ball is not played. Then there is Brig, Baptiste, and Mercy. Mercy enables Ashe and Echo. Baptiste just has one of the best abilities in the game, Lamp. Window also quite strong, although not used as much to support his team, but more used to frag on his own now. And then there's also Brig having the packs she can throw, being very strong. Her ult being one of the best ultimates in the game. Her CC still being very dominant, and she has quite a survivable kit as well. Next up, there are specialist picks. These are picks that are either map specific, counter specific, or comp specific. What I mean by that is if you have a very open map, you want to play Widowmaker, for example. If you have a ball on the enemy team, you might want to run a Sombra or a McCree to stun him. If there is a Widow on the enemy team, you might want to run a Winston. If there is an Ana on the enemy team countering your Hog, or there's a lot of heroes countering your Hog, you might want to run a Zarya to bubble him. These are just either your comp specific to support characters like Hog, map specific. On open maps like Anubis, you would run a Widowmaker or Junkrat in those spammy tight areas. And there is counter specific, for example, Sombra against Ball. Then there's the okay picks, which is the picks which are kind of getting held back right now, but still are okay to play if you really wanted to, or if you were really good at them. Of course, they would not see play as much as the other characters, and they would be underwhelmingly bad against a full meta team. So we have Reinhardt. Reinhardt is still getting held back by characters like Echo, characters that have high mobility such as Ball, and also characters that can just ignore him, outrange him. Problem also being that Sigma is just a better version of Reinhardt right now. Then we have D.Va, also outclassed by Sigma. Not much to say else. D.Va also gets quite nastily outplayed by Hog and Ball. So there's not much D.Va can do. Then there is Pharah, which just gets killed by all the hit scans. Genji, which is also just outplayed in every way, shape or form. Moira just bringing nothing to the table at all. Doomfist, which can't reach his target. And Mei and Reaper, which are only very viable in Brawl, but you wouldn't play Brawl anyways. Like, Brawl is not a thing right now. Lastly, there's the trash tier, which I put Lucio and Bastion in, as they are not very strong right now. Lucio being outclassed by Brig. Brig just doing everything better than Lucio. Having a better healing abilities, better CC, better ultimate, it gets everything faster. Also, you don't really need the speed because everybody's split in the first place. Also, Bastion having to have his team play around him, which he can't afford because everything that's meta right now doesn't play as a group, they just play split. So yeah, this has been my rundown on the meta right now, and the meta how it will shape after the patches, a quick patch rundown as well, with some opinions of mine. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe if you want to. I really need those right now. And yeah, I hope you have a nice day. Smile.